In the midst of the harsh dry season at South Africa's Addo National Park, the land is cracked with only a few shallow pools of water remaining. A mature male lion limps slowly across the barren terrain, his right front paw covered with a large, painful red abscess. The swollen, putrid mass makes every step agony, forcing him to drag his powerful frame painfully across the cracked earth. The pain made it difficult for him to hunt or defend his territory. Unable to maintain his dominance, he was gradually abandoned by his pride. The lionesses and cubs who once looked to him for protection, now keeping their distance from their failing leader, becoming a lost soul in the middle of the barren, empty grasslands. His golden eyes were dim with exhaustion, his magnificent mane now matted and dull, as if suffering from long-suppressed despair. He found a small puddle of water to rest beside, occasionally lowering his great head to take small laps with his rough tongue. A hot wind carrying the scent of dry earth blew past, wrapping around his large but weakened body. The lion had almost given up hope of reclaiming his place in this harsh land. Suddenly, a black bird with a long, curved beak appeared and approached the injured paw. It was a curious creature, closely observing the red swelling on the lion's massive paw. The bird moved closer, tilted its head a few times, and then gently touched its beak to the abscess. Suddenly, it pecked loudly, causing the stretched skin to burst and yellow liquid to flow onto the ground. The lion was startled, but quickly found the sharp pain had subsided, bringing some immediate relief. He tried taking a short step. The pressure under his paw lessened, but the pain was still dull. The bird continued to peck a few more times, causing more fluid to escape and relieving the tension. The lion watched with weary gratitude as the bird chirped softly and flew away. That night, the lion rested longer than usual, thinking that he was completely saved. But just a few days later, the wound began to swell and turn red again. The pain spread around the paw, and a foul smell emerged as yellow pus oozed out, making it impossible to stand or walk normally. The lion could only lie motionless by the puddle, lapping weakly to survive each day. The pain became so intense that it left him almost immobile for hours. His breathing became labored, each heavy breath echoing in the silent space of the dry field. Eyes half closed, his great head resting on the ground, as if trying to fight extreme fatigue. He no longer had the strength to hunt. His once powerful frame grew visibly thinner with each passing day. Occasionally, he would try to lower his head to the puddle, take a few small laps, then let it hang back down to the ground. The sun burned on his back, making his condition worse. Steam rose from the dry soil, and flies swarmed around the infected wound, making it even more uncomfortable and painful. Even though he tried to swish his tail to chase them away, he was still helpless against the overwhelming number of insects. The water in the pool gradually dried up, leaving only a thin layer of mud at the bottom. He waited silently, as if hoping for a miracle to happen amidst the despair. That miracle came one morning when the golden sunlight was just spreading across the grassland. Two rangers, David Nkona and Samuel Cumulo, are patrolling water sources in the reserve. From a distance, they saw a massive golden form lying motionless near the water's edge. As they got closer, they realized it was an adult male lion with a serious injury to his paw. His tired eyes and heavy breathing showed that he had been suffering for days. David knelt down at a safe distance to assess his condition and body temperature. Samuel immediately used the radio to call for emergency backup. They quickly brought clean water, maintaining safe distance while observing the lion's dire state. Samuel used rope to mark the area, preventing other animals from approaching and causing danger. David spoke words of comfort in a deep, warm voice from a safe distance, while they waited for the specialized rescue team. From afar, the sound of a specialized vehicle engine echoed, signaling the rescue team was arriving. When the veterinary team arrived, they worked together using tranquilizer equipment to safely sedate the massive predator. The lion was carefully loaded into a special vehicle designed for large predator transport, trying to keep him as comfortable as possible. Samuel monitored the sedated lion's breathing and health condition during transport back to the ranger station. At the ranger station, a veterinarian was immediately present to conduct a thorough examination. The results showed that the abscess had not spread deep into the bone, but thorough disinfection and close monitoring were needed. The medical team washed away the pus, removed dead tissue, and bandaged it carefully with sterile gauze. Antibiotics and painkillers were injected immediately to help the lion feel more comfortable. He was moved into a large, secure enclosure with a floor covered with dry straw and a roof to protect him from the sun. A large portion of fresh meat and a tank of clean water were placed nearby, so he could eat and drink easily. At night, staff changed bandages and checked his temperature frequently to prevent complications, always maintaining safe protocols when working with the recovering predator. After a few days, the lion's breathing became more regular and his golden eyes lit up with new alertness. By the third day, the wound began to dry. The swelling had significantly reduced, and the foul smell had also disappeared. David and Samuel smiled as they watched him try to move his paw slowly, testing his weight. A week later, he was able to stand up and move around his enclosure, his natural dignity beginning to return. Doctors increased his food intake, adding variety to help him regain his strength faster. Every morning, Samuel observed the lion in his secure yard as he tested his healing paw in the sunlight, which helped improve his recovery. His coat began to regain its golden luster, and the skin around the wound gradually healed. Every day his steps grew more steady, no longer favoring the injured paw. His restlessness increased, a positive sign that his wild instincts were reasserting themselves. After 6 weeks, the wound was completely closed, and there were no signs of infection. His mane had regained its full magnificence, and his powerful frame radiated renewed strength. It was time to return the king to his kingdom. David and Samuel prepared a special reinforced vehicle and carefully guided the sedated lion up the ramp. On the way to his former territory, anticipation filled the air. The transport container opened in the golden afternoon sunlight. He stepped out slowly, testing his fully healed paw on the familiar ground. The sunlight illuminated his restored magnificence, his mane full and flowing, his powerful frame radiating confidence. He let out a deep, commanding roar that echoed across the savanna with the full power and authority of his species. The sound reverberated with primal dominance, declaring that the king had reclaimed his throne. Taking each step steadily into the distance, he left deep paw prints on the soft ground. David and Samuel stood watching, eyes full of hope and pride. In their hearts, the joy was not only saving a lion, but preserving the natural balance by returning the apex predator to his rightful place. The lion continued on, his figure gradually moving among the vast grasslands of Addo National Park. A flock of black birds flew above, as if escorting him back to freedom. In the distance, answering roars echoed back, his former pride responding to their returned leader. The sounds of recognition dispelled the silence of the afternoon. In that moment, he was no longer a fallen king, but the rightful ruler of his domain once more. David and Samuel returned to the station, carrying with them simple but complete happiness. The sun set behind the horizon, leaving behind a brilliant orange-pink glow. The story of the lion and his bird friend will be told forever in the evenings around the fire. And in that wilderness, a king found his crown again, thanks to the compassion of humans.